All right, hello, folks, and welcome to the Layman's Guide to the Multiverse, where we dive between the panels and break through the fourth wall. I'm your host, Matt, and with me this week, we got Ed.
What's up, man?
We got Doug.
Wait, hey, what's going on?
Welcome back from the Shadow Realm, Douglas.
Oh, God.
And coming in from the city of Shaolin, we got Paolo.
Okay, you actually... The reason Doug is so confused is because you pulled him out of the Shadow Realm too early.
Oh.
He's supposed to come in after I arrive from the realm of Shaolin.
Oh, crap.
You've broken my routine. The routine is all I have.
Is it like a goldfish, and I got to put him in like the warm water so he gets accustomed to the different water temperatures or something?
He's just gonna keep flailing around like a magic harp for a little while. He'll be fine.
Just let me rock in the fetal position for a little bit. I'll be okay.
It's all right, Doug. Eventually, you will blossom into a ferocious Gyarados.
Not without a sun to give me, my energy and photosynthesis.
All right, we're not going to talk about Pokemon Sun and Moon. This week, we are going to talk about the Dark Phoenix trailer.
I'm mad that you know that much about Pokemon.
I'm mad you know that much about photosynthesis.
Yeah, I will say, spoiler alert for this, stars come back into play.
What?
Yeah.
Wait. Okay, anyway. Dark Phoenix trailer. Have you guys seen it?
Unfortunately. That's like 3 minutes I'm never getting back, man.
Really? None of you guys are hyped for it?
No, and then the worst part is you're saying 3 minutes that you're never getting back. I've seen multiple trailers that I'm never going to get time back for, so it's more like 6 or 7 for me.
You did the X-Men movies. You should have seen this coming.
Well, I'll say for starters, I just don't like Sophie Turner as Phoenix or Jean.
Well, Sophie Turner doesn't like you either, Doug.
No.
How about that?
Oh, wow.
No, I am actually in the opposite corner on this. I like her as Jean. I have no issue with her as Jean. I think as a young Jean makes perfect sense. But I wish the stories would be fucking better because the stories are miserable.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
It's Fox. They're punching above their weight. We saw what they did with the Fantastic Four. But you know what, though? I mean, honestly, that trailer... It didn't seem that bad to me. I mean, it seems like kind of a generic-y, but like, the X-Men kind of gave me a Star Trek vibe with those costumes they got in this movie.
The thing is, the trailer didn't tell me enough to believe anything. It's like I watch it, and I'm like, okay, those are some scenes. This movie could be terrible, or it could be great. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I just have the image of Doug like sitting at his computer, clicking on this link, and being like, "This isn't a movie." I don't believe this.
No, I'm not saying it's not a
this
movie.
Didn't happen. Nope, this is a real. She doesn't have psychic powers. She's not a Phoenix lady.
We never know. Maybe it'll be better than X-Men Origins Wolverine. We got.
How dare you?
It would be hard not to be.
Okay, hold on. Now, where do we rank X3: The Last Stand with X-Men Origins Wolverine? Which one's better?
X-Men Origins.
Tell me that.
X-Men Origins is better than X3: The Last Stand.
I've only ever seen the unfinished version, like the unfinished screener of X-Men Origins Wolverine. So that's the best X-Men movie to me. That movie is hilarious. There's that scene. I think Sabretooth is going to throw Wolverine at a like a garbage truck, and everything just turns into like gray blobs. Like everything is just pixels and polygons.
You know what?
It's great.
I was actually about to say X-Men Origins Wolverine is the worst superhero movie ever made. Then I remembered that they somehow crossbred Deadpool with Baraka. So now that movie is better than Citizen Kane.
He's also played by Ryan Reynolds.
That's true.
Perfect casting. 10 out of 10.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the best casting choices for all of the X-Men franchises came out of that movie.
Holy shit.
Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool.
Holy shit.
See how Hugh Jackman was selected like 2 or 3 movies before that, though.
Yes, okay, yes, I'm aware of that.
Right, he's
fact,
just saying the cast is the best.
The casting is still the best.
Sorry, I misunderstood the point you're making. I'm sorry, Paula.
Listen to this, listeners. Look how excited we are about a Jean movie that we're talking about the bad X-Men movies.
I'm a regular Jesse Spano. That's how excited I am.
So why is Jean getting her own
so
movie?
many caffeine pills.
So why is Jean getting her own movie? I mean, like
She's not. This is not even her own movie. She is not the star of this movie.
Who is then, Paulo?
They said Jean enough in the movie trailer to make me think it's about her.
I believe the star is the best genist from My Hero Academia.
Oh, that man wears jeans all the way up to his fucking nose.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
I'm
God.
sorry, Jean Grey's number 2.
But anyway, why is Jean getting her own movie? She was kind of lame in the cartoon. She would lift a pebble with her mind and pass out for the rest of the episode usually.
And but she would also have an X orgasm. In
Excuse
the
you.
process.
That's an Xgasm. Get it right.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Hey, you better be.
Wasted all my good jokes on the edit that we're not going to use for this.
By the way, I'm so proud of you, Ed. I would say the reason she seems so useless in the cartoon is because they based her on the 60s and early to mid 70s version of Jean Grey, who was kind of useless.
Oh, was it like the whole 1960s how they kind of like treated women kind of thing?
Mostly. There was a secondary explanation.
Ew.
When Jean Grey's powers manifested, they manifested a little early because she saw her best friend get hit and killed by a car, and it was a traumatic incident which kind of triggered her.
Listen, Guy Gardner has survived the school bus hitting him. Jean Grey could survive if her best friend getting hit by a car.
Guy Gardner was a Green Lantern. Jean Grey's best friend was a little girl.
You don't know that, Doug.
Guy Gardner had
I do
had
know
armor
both
underneath
of
that
those
bowl
things.
cut.
Both of those things are indisputable facts.
Jean Grey's best friend, a drunk cartoonist stumbling out of a bar. Let's go.
No, but anyway, so seeing that was so traumatic to her that it awoken her powers like a couple years too early. She was already, I think, 10 or 11 or 12, something like that, but she wasn't quite like puberty level where they're supposed to kick in.
Jean Grey woke as fuck.
She too woke. So woke, in fact, that Professor X, when they recruited her under the X-Men, knew that she had both psychic, telepathic, and telekinetic powers. But because of the trauma and his fear of what that psychic awareness could do to her, he put limiters on her so that she only had telekinesis for a while.
What a jerk.
I promise you, Xavier put in those blocks because she just didn't want him to be more powerful than him.
Probably.
Because he has no legs.
Also, because he's a
Yeah,
creeper.
that's the reason.
Yeah, because he's a creeper wearing 2 caterpillars over his eyes.
Oh my god.
My mind!
Oh, we'll get there. Don't worry.
My Mr. Minds!
Part of his superpowers are those ridiculous
Eyebrows?
eyebrows that he has. Oh god, those things are creepy as hell.
The more I control your mind, the pointier the bridge gets.
He's got eyebrows like that rival the Monarchs.
Ooh. So okay. So Jean, Professor Xavier locks her chakra behind all those gates. Locks.
That's his mutant way.
So he locks her up. She's
Broccoli.
apparently.
Broccoli.
So she's apparently super duper powerful. He buffs her. She nerfs her. He nerfs her out the wazoo. Makes her weak as hell. Okay, she has a thing going on with Cyclops.
Teenage crush.
Yeah. I mean, anything else of high level importance to say about Jean?
She wants that Wolverine dick. So bad.
Well, okay, yes, but also, I guess, from her introduction until the Phoenix Saga, I guess the most interesting things is that every guy in the X-Men seems to really want her.
Dude, she's a redhead with mind powers.
I do love redheads.
Yeah, but you hate mind powers.
Uh,
Why are you kick shaming him, Ed?
No, I'm not. I'm not kink shaming him. I'm just saying that he hates mind powers.
I got silent because I was wondering, do I?
all
Confused
right.
him enough for a minute that he didn't know what the hell he liked anymore.
All right. So can we get into how she exactly becomes the Phoenix? Because
She goes crazy.
Okay, good enough for me. That's it, folks. Have a good night.
Ba-ba, ba-ba.
No, because
That's
I
not even
remember
the theme song.
I know.
because I remember
I can't mimic that sax.
that's the ending song.
Yeah,
Douglas.
that's what I.
Oh,
You
so
just
I'm-
ended the
I'm-
show as in the joke.
Speaking
Stick
of show,
with us, Matt.
Speaking of shows, I have to think back to the Phoenix Saga and the cartoon because I remember that was about the time where I said this is fucking stupid, and I stopped watching the X-Men cartoon.
The funniest part about that is that's supposed to be one of their most famous storylines.
It is
in X-Men history. Everything that happens from the point where Jean gets the Phoenix to the part where Jean dies as the Dark Phoenix. Spoiler alert. Sorry, guess everybody could just tune out now. Yeah, no, that's supposed to be the most important, one of the most important stories in the X-Men.
It is. It went even casual X-Men fans who are too young to know to have been around when it happened. You tell them what are the biggest X-Men storylines, and in top 3, I guarantee you, they will say the Phoenix Saga or the Dark Phoenix Saga, which is pretty much the same thing.
So, is the Phoenix Saga any good?
No.
It's just significant.
It had a lot of character motivating moments that were used later on in much better stories. Basically, it was the root of a lot of things.
Gotcha. So, can you give me a SparkNotes version of the Phoenix Saga?
How sparky do you want me to do it? Like a 15-second synopsis? What do you want?
Please make sure to include the space bird people.
Oh, don't worry.
Also, their space jewelry MacGuffin.
I'm going to mention that, as well as the Space Bird people's DC ripoff Guard.
Oh, that's right. They do have the Legion of superheroes that they rip off, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And aren't you guys happy to hear me call Marvel a DC ripoff for once? Huh?
Dear God, what have I gotten myself into with you nerds?
I mean, you're I don't know.
Actually, to be honest, it was an homage. It was done intentionally, but yeah, they are directly inspired. The Shi'ar Imperial Guard, which are the Shi'ar Empire's, well, they're their Imperial Guard, are directly inspired by DC's Legion of Superheroes. They're future superheroes from the year 3000.
Yes.
That is a thing.
Yes,
the Legion of Superheroes got inspired by Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Do superhero things in the future.
In fact, the leader of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, Gladiator, is supposed to be, when he was introduced at least, the last of his race, and he has all Superman's powers and is again incredibly powerful. Clearly,
dude, he has a G crested on his chest.
Wait, is Gladiator supposed to be Marvel Superman?
He's one of Marvel's Superman.
Okay.
I fucking hate that, man. I don't want to derail you, but I hate it's DC's the Hulk or it's Marvel's Superman. No, fuck you. It is what it is, man.
But the thing is when
Gladiator's a jobber. Don't even.
All right. Anyway, the point is,
what, am I wrong?
No, but the last thing I was just going to say is to show you how much it is clear that it was a direct homage. Gladiator's real name in his race's tongue is a mix of Superman's 2 names, Clark and Kal-El. His name is Kal-Ark.
That's stupid.
I don't disagree.
So is his haircut. The dude's got a giant broom on his head.
No, that man has the most epic mohawk of life, man.
Hey, look, man, considering our stance on Guy Gardner, I can see us getting behind him, okay?
Now, yeah, Gladiator's pretty much, he's got Superman's power set, but it fluctuates based on how competent he is.
Okay, so anyway, do you want me to actually give you a 15-second synopsis and then we'll break it down a little more?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. Jean Grey gets possessed by a cosmic entity in space. She comes back more powerful than ever. Then she is brainwashed and manipulated by a bondage club of evil mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah.
She goes a little crazy. Okay, she goes a lot crazy, but she goes crazier later. I was trying to save some. She goes a lot crazy and kind of wreaks her havoc, and then she depletes her energy, so she shoots off into space after breaking free of the other quote unquote telepath's abilities. And then she's like, I need some energy. So she flies to a solar system in the Shi'ar galaxy and eats a star, which is not good for the planet orbiting it with civilization on it. She kills a planet with billions of people on it.
Generally, eating stars is not a good thing unless you are a plumber from New York City.
That does help. But if you're going to eat stars, eat them responsibly. Do not have populated orbiting planets.
Pretty sure that Plumber was high on shrooms.
It works on 2 levels because, he grows. Anyway, so she goes back to Earth. Then they get involved with this alien race, the Shi'ar. And she helps them solve an issue with a space MacGuffin called the M'Kraan crystal. Don't worry about it. It's just a powerful cosmic artifact. But she uses her Phoenix powers to help fix it so that it doesn't make the universe go kablooey. Then she puts in some self-dampeners on her power because she realizes, like, hey, like, you know, I'm crazy powerful and this whole alien sector knows it. I'll be good, promise. They go back to Earth and I'm sorry, I actually did that out of order. She ate the star after this because actually repairing the M'Kraan crystal is what drained her so much. And so then she eats a star, kills the planet, and the Imperial Guard shows up on Earth going, yeah, no, this isn't going to work, you being this whole cosmic death god thing. So we're killing you. But Xavier challenges the Empress of the Shi'ar Empire to
a duel.
To a right in their race that literally cannot be declined. And also, he knew that because he's a telepath. And
wasn't he banging her too?
I'm not sure if he was yet. To be honest, it's been a long time since I read it.
So
how does that work?
One of the things I do have to add, by the way, the Shi'ar Empress looks like this 80s cartoon called the Silverhawks.
Yo, she does.
She does, right?
You are not wrong.
Goddamn right.
No, she is the Silverhawk.
She is the Silverhawk.
Tally ho, or whatever their fucking catchphrase was.
Okay. So just I'm pretty much done. So they challenged that, and then they fight on the blue area of the moon. That's another reference to Marvel, but basically it's an area of the moon that has oxygen.
Yeah, sure.
The reasons are important, but for other, characters, it's not important for this. So they have this massive X-Men versus the Imperial Guard battle for Phoenix's life. The X-Men lose it pretty badly. Jean and Cyclops are the last 2 left, and after realizing what would happen to Cyclops and everybody else, Jean, she sacrifices herself to stop the device that the Shi'ar had set up as a failsafe that would blow up the solar system to ensure that even if they lost, she died, because it was too important to entrust to a trial. And she sacrifices herself to save Cyclops and also, I guess, the solar system. And that is the end of the Phoenix Saga.
What the fuck were the writers on?
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
It was the 70s, man. Like we were.
No,
like,
it was the 80s, dude. It was the early 80s.
Wait, it was 79 and 80, wasn't it? Or was it 80 and 81?
Oh, 80? No, the worst of both decades in terms of drugs. Then
shit, weed, and a lot of coke.
Yeah, no kidding.
The guys were doing coke in 1979. It became 1980, and they were started doing lewds.
Dude, all right, and this is part of the reason why it is so difficult to make a solid Phoenix movie, as it were, is because there are so many little stupid, like, nonsensical things that happen as part of this saga.
Like Xavier banging a bird lady.
Dumb, like Xavier.
How does that work? He has no legs.
I
want to say that he got his ability to walk back, I think, at some point.
From what?
I don't know which
time.
I don't
know
this?
which comics.
No. What I was going to say is which time. Like,
yeah, no, because it's not the first time that he's. I remember when he had the big fight with Magneto, where he was just like, "Oh, fuck you! Can't let you do this ever again!" And he like turns him into a vegetable.
Are you sure you're not confusing it with that episode in Star Trek where Picard gets laid?
Maybe.
I am, but not for those reasons. And no, but Xavier's been able to walk at like 3 or 4 different points in his canon. Like, he just keeps going from cripple to non-cripple over and over, and I don't know why.
He will always be a cripple to me.
Really, damn it, Paulo.
Really,
I was taking a drink. Damn it, Paulo.
Xavier will always be a cripple to me.
It's kind of a crazy thing to say. It's like, hey, yeah, I like you better when you were disabled from the waist down.
Yeah.
I mean, every time he gets his leg back, he does something horrible.
Like what? Kick people?
Actually, Paulo's right.
Yeah, tell me I'm not wrong.
I can walk again. Time to dick it out.
Yeah, time to dick around.
No, okay. So one time he got use of his legs back. He fucking turned Magneto into a goddamn vegetable. Okay.
Arguably,
I don't think
Magneto
these things like correlate though. Like just because he's got his legs back doesn't mean he's a terrible person. Like,
No,
there was that
but
time in the Savage Land when he got his legs back and he was running around
I'm just saying,
getting chased by dinos.
I've noticed that Xavier's had a lot of quasi semi-villainous moments in the past, and I just noticed I feel like a disproportionate amount of them happen when he could walk.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me not. Tell me not.
I would argue that him lusting after Jean during the original X-Men runs fucking creepy too, with the giant caterpillar eyebrows and hair.
That's creepy.
16.
I'm just imagining in the comics, like, you know, he gets his ability to walk, but he goes, "Ha! Now I'm going to torch an orphanage with these new legs."
All right, so
he torches the place and runs away.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, we've talked about Jean's origin. We've talked about her seeming irrelevance, and then her biggest moment in history of her character, the Phoenix Saga. We've at least briefly summarized that. We can go into more depth afterwards, but does this not seem like a good time for a break?
It's an excellent time for a break.
My God, I could walk.
We'll be back.
Excited for that?
Yes. Yeah. Not really.
You're extremely excited for that?
Look, it's okay. It's not genocide. It's an extermination.
God, I hate you guys and your stupid X-Puds.
Disregard him. That was excellent.
I think we're taking a break now.
All right, and we're back. So, we've been talking about the Phoenix Saga in preparation for the Dark Phoenix movie. So what we've discussed so far is, well, I think the only way we can summarize it is the writers at Marvel got hopped up on a whole lot of late 70s drugs, looked at the hood decal of a 1978 Pontiac Firebird and used it for inspiration.
You were very close. They weren't hopped up on 1970s drugs. They were hopped up on the 1970s.
Even
yeah,
better.
they were coming back from the 1970s, realizing that they're moving now to the 1980s.
Gotcha.
And they were not transitioning well.
So what better way to transition to the 1980s than to take a character who's kind of been getting shit on for the last 20 some odd years, get her possessed by some sort of space ghost, and kill all the X-Men except Cyclops?
Well, she didn't kill any of the X-Men in this. But
No, she did not. Not
yeah.
I meant the
in
writers.
this version of the story.
I'm talking about the writers who were on a absurd amount of drugs and staring at the 1978 Pontiac Firebird.
Excuse you. The writers of the X-Men the animated series had to have been on a ton of drugs, but we'll get there in a minute.
Okay, so I gotta say, one of the reasons that like we all I feel dislike this story for different reasons.
That is fair.
Because we've discussed it kind of in the past, but to kind of clarify, at least why I dislike it. So in preparation for this episode, I reread. I should say I read the story because my first exposure to it was the animated series. Then I watched X3, The Last Stand, and then I read the comic.
Wow.
Which was
fucking
the worst
sucks.
version of it? Which was the worst version of it for you?
Three.
I think X3. I think
Yeah,
X3
X3
is even worse than the comic.
X3 is worse than the comic. Okay, X3 is worse than the comic because at least the comic tried to have moments.
The comic
that
has
made
the excuse
sense
of
to-
being before Watchmen existed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not just that, but also the fact that the comic itself, it tries to do something. What it tries to do, I honestly couldn't tell you, because I kind of halfway through the story, I'm like, this is so dumb.
It's a space soap opera.
Because Ed beat me to it. What I was going to say is that much like they've kind of always been written, besides being an allegory for civil rights, X-Men has always been a soap opera in comic book form. And there are story elements to the Phoenix Saga where if somebody took that plot, a good writer, and rewrote it today, they could make that an incredibly interesting storyline. The problem is this was the early 80s, so you had early 80s dialogue, you had early 80s comic book stylings.
Yeah, early 80s is hard to read, man.
It really is.
In their defense, this was the pre-Photoshop days.
You know, like
it's not about the art.
Okay, the layout of the art is what bothers me. The art itself is nice. The layout of the art bothers me. Like, I've actually had a hard, and we've discussed this before, I have a hard time reading comics from before maybe the late 1980s, like some of the 90s too. I still have some problems reading, but I can get through them. Like, I know Doug hates me for this.
Oh,
do not think that Watchmen is as great as everybody makes it out to be. Part of it isn't due to that.
I don't hate you. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I feel like we've had this discussion too, that like we're hitting a point of where we are, I guess just as a society or a culture or with the medium in general, that like Watchmen doesn't have the cultural impact anymore because it's old, or 30 years, however fucking old it is.
It's also no longer it's relevant. It was a Cold War allegory written during the Cold War.
Right. I mean, I just mean in general that like the cultural significance of what that did for the medium itself, everything does that now.
Fair.
That's kind of the standard.
Fair. Yeah.
Like comics are no longer just for kids.
And in fact, I think they've gotten further away from kids.
Right. And that's kind of the issue with a story like this.
Yeah, it had to be written for children as well.
Yeah, that there it is. It had to be written for children as well because they were trying to get away from it but didn't know how.
Exactly.
And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that in a lot of in visual media where, you know, things are moving around, like in cartoons. You could do it a lot in movies, but it's gotten harder to do it in comics.
It's also harder when you're already an old school at that point comic writer, like who grew up in another time.
That's also true.
Now, here's my question now. Okay, so that explains why the comic book is so bad. Why did it suck in the cartoon and in X3?
I wouldn't say that the cartoon was bad per se.
Also, again, for children.
Right. Yeah. So I watched through the Dark Phoenix saga in preparation for this. It is literally the same story. I mean, they changed some things, like the evil mutant bondage club isn't called the Hellfire Club. They're the Inner Circle, because you're not going to use.
Is that what they're called? They're not called the Hellfire Club.
They're not allowed to say hell.
No, yeah, they're definitely not going to use Hellfire as a name for something in a kids show in 1995.
They could have said Heckfire.
The Heck
Flames Club.
That's what Rocco's Modern Life did.
Wait, that's right. That's why you keep saying that Emma Frost is dressed like a Viking queen.
She's a Viking witch. Excuse you.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake. For those of you who don't know, Emma Frost is a very powerful telepath. But she also dresses like a bondage queen.
Mm-hmm.
Dominatrix.
Yeah, dominatrix, if you will. Except in white. And
she's the White Queen of the Hellfire Club.
The White Queen of the Hellfire. Indeed, the White Queen of the Hellfire Club. And they had to change that for the Dark Phoenix saga on TV, because you can't have a dominatrix on Saturday morning cartoons.
No, she is a fuzzy witch lady.
Yeah, and just to slightly elaborate upon that, the reason she's the White Queen is the Hellfire Club has a hierarchy based around chess pieces.
Yes.
So there's a white and black king, a white and black queen, and then there's knights, bishops, rooks, etc.
So one of the things I feel like we need to kind of rewind a little bit to when Doug gave us our quick 60-second version of the
entire
entire Phoenix saga.
Please do.
Is the Dark Phoenix saga is what we're going to try to focus on with this part of the episode. And the Hellfire Club plays a major factor in that they're essentially the ones who drove Jean Grey crazy.
They
They drove her
pervert
insane.
The Phoenix Force.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they
Pervert
unleashed the Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, they pervert the Phoenix Force, specifically the character of Mastermind, who actually would do some kind of psychic telepathy illusion to Jean and make her believe that she was she was reliving a past life.
Exactly.
And that this is this man, Jason Wingard, was the man that she was supposed to be in love with.
Right.
And Jean being I think she might have been like 18, 19 at this point, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what age.
I don't think they specify ages, but
they never specify
hopefully she was an adult.
I would hope that that is why she's so freaking naive. Like, I'm falling back in time and reliving past lives.
At the same
this
time,
must be
though,
totally normal.
At the same time, the way they dress her up in the Hellfire Club, I hope she's legal at least.
Yeah, they kind of the way that they handle that in the cartoon. Not only is the entire inner circle, they're dressed like they look like they're all like they've got like powdered wigs. They're all they all have powdered wigs. They're all kind of dressed for Ren Fair.
Right. The men are
How
like
dare you? How
foppish,
dare you?
The men
Not
are like
all-
foppish gentlemen or nobility, and the women are dominatrixes.
Not all Ren Fair people dress up in foppish wigs.
I'm just saying that they are.
All right, stop
If you
stop
want-
shaming the
I'm
Ren
not-
Fair people.
I'm not
If you
kink
wanna-
shaming the Ren Fair people. I'm
if
not
you
Ren
want to
Fair
do it
shaming.
properly, if you want to do it properly, you get the powdered wig, okay, Paulo?
The powdered wigs are not necessary. All right,
If
I
you
go to
wanna do
Ren
it right.
Fairs. I go to Ren Fairs. I don't wear a powdered wig.
Clearly, you're going to the wrong ones.
You're clearly not going to mutant sex dungeons either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
seriously.
basically, wait,
That's
are
a
your
party that I have not been to.
You're missing
Have
out,
you?
bro.
Yeah, are your wigs just unpowdered, Paulo?
Yes, they're unpowdered wigs.
Peasant.
I don't.
Peasant.
Okay,
Fucking
back
plebe.
to what the hell.
Yeah, what the hell are we talking about?
Okay.
Man,
So-
this is crazy.
So Doug tells us about the Hellfire Club, which ironically enough in X3 never happens.
Don't exist.
Does not exist, does not compute, did not translate. No one fucking bothered to introduce them. Jean Grey just magically reappears at the beginning of the movie, murders Cyclops, and then murders Professor Xavier, and then Magneto's just like, I'm gonna use you for my Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Yeah. Again, somehow the 80s comic was better than that movie.
Yo, how was the 80s comic? Okay, don't get me wrong. Like, there were signs that the movie could have been good, and obviously I haven't gone into this because there's that whole thing with X3 where they lost the director halfway through, and then they went to Brett Ratner, and that was a whole big mess. Don't get me started.
They lost Bryan Singer and got Bret the Rat. I like it.
And it just becomes a shit show. X3 is just a shit show.
Because she catches the Phoenix Force like you'd catch measles hanging around a bunch of unvaccinated children.
Ooh.
Well, no, in that version of it, she is the Phoenix. They never specifically mention her to be the Phoenix Force, but what they do is they extend it so that she pretty much, this dark energy is part of who she is. It's her
Untapped mutant potential.
not just her untapped mutant potential, but her what's the word I'm looking for? I know in
It was through Super Saiyan version 3.
Freudian psychology, they call it the id. It's just pretty much her base desires and instincts manifested into what she wants. That's why the first thing that she does when she wakes up after murdering Cyclops is grabbing Wolverine's junk.
Nice.
Yeah, she was driven by her impulses. Yeah.
Exactly. So it would be, if Freudian psychology, that would be considered the id. So again, that is kind of that is where they translated that in X3 from her going crazy and then shooting off into the farthest reaches of space and eating a star. She did it because she wanted to.
She did it because she's a jerk.
Yeah, she did it because she's a freaking jerk, and that's what caused the Silverhawks to come and try to kill her.
Yeah.
Because they weren't going to stand for that.
So-
does anybody know if the Silverhawks were inspired by the Shi'ar? Is this because like I feel like if the Shi'ar were in the comics in the 80s and the Silverhawks came out in what, 83, 84?
Shi'ar were in the 70s, 77, I think.
Oh,
So the
God damn it.
Shi'ar
Never
Empire
mind.
was there
Forget it.
beforehand. So that means the Silverhawks might have borrowed from the Shi'ar for all we know.
Fortunate.
Yeah. Well, regardless, whatever the case may be. So that is what happened. So then she comes back, she puts on her limiter, she's like, I can't keep doing this, I'm going crazy, I'm losing my mind, blah, 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 blah.
My
She's
mind!
like, my mind! I can't imitate her exgasms, so I won't try to, because I don't
No,
think
it's
that's
fine.
I don't think that's anything our listeners ever want to hear.
You don't know that.
If you guys do want to hear me exgasm, please never ever say that out loud.
Hey man, this is a-
Alternatively, PayPal him.
You can PayPal him. You can send us an email at.
we don't kink shame here. We're a kink shaming free podcast.
All right. So,
So-
and just to summarize then further what she is. So then she tries to put a limit on herself. She comes back to Earth. Everyone's all, oh yay, Jean's back.
Hooray.
Yay. Hooray, hooray. And then
Yeah.
the Silverhawks show up with the fake legion of superheroes. And they're like, you must die because you destroyed a star in our galaxy.
And then
they're
Xavier's,
like, oh no.
Xavier's like, not so fast. I know, because I have probed your brain without your knowledge, that you have an alien ritual that you are not legally allowed to decline.
Also, speaking of probing, it might feel weird when you try to walk again.
That's what he told. That's what he told Liliandra. Oh, Liliandra is the empress of the Shi'ar Empire, by the way.
Yes.
Who sleeps with Charles Xavier?
Yes.
Yeah,
Eesh.
it's a
So
very,
how the hell?
very soap opera.
How in the hell are they going to make this into a 1.5 hour movie?
Well, I would love to know because if I recall correctly, I believe they are introducing the character of Liliandra in this story.
Really?
There is, if I remember correctly, they have. Hold on, I'm looking it up right now. Dark Phoenix cast.
That just blows my mind. I thought they would just totally ignore the alien aspect of
Jessica
that storyline.
Jessica Chastain is playing a character named Smith, who, if you look at her, when you see her in the trailers, she's supposed to represent the thing that teaches her about who the Phoenix is.
Oh, the white-haired one.
Yes.
Oh, I actually thought that was going to be Emma Frost.
I didn't know who the hell that was supposed to be.
Not for nothing. I hope that if they do include the Shi'ar and Lilandra in the movie, like the new one.
Mhm.
They do what the cartoon did. So one of the things, or one of the ways that or I should say, in the cartoon, Emma Frost gets a bunch of information, right? Like she knows what's been going on with Jean. She's got a bunch of like inner workings with like Cerebro, or she has knowledge of a bunch of the inner workings with Cerebro and a bunch of other stuff that like there's no reason, like no rhyme or reason why she would have it. Or
Except,
really,
well,
it's
she's a
just
telepath.
exposition. Well, right, but she hasn't been in the vicinity of the X-Men. Or if anything, Xavier should have mental blocks and things like on the school. Really, it's just there as what's the word I'm looking for?
Exposition?
Thank you. For the cartoon itself.
Exposition.
Yes.
Oh boy.
But one of the characters asks them, they're like, how do you know all this? And she's like, I got it from Xavier's computer. They're like, what? She's like, yeah, he's super stressed out and things. So like all of his mental defenses are down. I just plucked it all from his face, right? One of the things that has him super stressed out is he's getting these mental visions. And one of them is of a spooky spaceman that's trying to contact him. That spooky spaceman ends up being Lilandra. But the telepathic conversation he has with her, because he's kind of like spilling his guts to her.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only one I could talk to, alien voice.
Essentially. But he's so stressed out and like he's getting hit with all these images of like what the Phoenix is going to do, and he's just like, you're driving me insane.
My mind.
You're tearing me apart. Oh wait, wrong movie.
So good. No, I hope there's that. That there's another plot point early in the 4-part Phoenix saga where Wolverine's looking for salami.
As he's wont to do.
They go and they show you they're doing like stress tests on Jean, who's still possessed by the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to either eject the Phoenix Force from her or just get more information. Who she then sends out like a mental distress signal to Scott, who's hanging out with Gambit.
Oh yeah, that's another thing that they constantly have is there's a this weird mental connection between Scott and Jean where they constantly share information with each other.
I mean, it's not weird.
No, that's canon.
Yeah, no, that's canon. Yeah, that is canon.
They call it their psychic rapport.
Oh, that's what it's called, the psychic rapport.
Yeah, he actually says that too, Xavier.
She didn't feel the psychic rapport when he was giving it to Emma?
Ooh. My mind.
Bum.
No, but so like he Scott goes to get up and he's like, I gotta go get a hold of Jean. Like, so that there's a dumb conversation with him and Gambit, who's like, don't worry about Jean, she's all in your head. It's like, she is.
Jean's all in my head.
Oh my god. That's
but
terrible.
they pan back to the apartment. I mean, I'm skipping a couple of scenes here. It's fine. They pan back to the apartment, and Wolverine's just hanging out, just like in jeans and a fucking wife beater, and he's, where's that salami? I smell it. And he's like digging through the fucking fridge, finds the giant thing, and he's like, good. All this needs to be is sliced, and he's cutting it now with his fucking claws, like it's.
How does that even?
Is this really a major plot point for this story?
This happens for like it's a 3-minute thing.
I'm more bothered over the fact that he's cutting up food with his claws because
it comes out of his skin and blood.
Do you ever see him washing them?
No.
Do you know that came up in a comic book actually like a couple months ago? Iceman was talking to Wolverine, and Wolverine was like cutting like I don't know, it was some kind of food, I forget what it was, with his claws and offered it to people, and he's like, "Is that sanitary?" And he's like, "I don't know. Do you want to find out personally?"
Wait a second. You know what I just realized? If he's got hot claws, the fire claws, they probably sanitize.
Oh man,
Hot claw life.
Hot takes from the Layman's Guide to the Multiverse.
Wait, there's one.
Hot life, hot claw life equals sanitary food.
That's fair, but we're running towards our end point, and there's something we still should bring up. Okay, so we talked about the quality of the story on its own, but what we might be overlooking, and we should really point out, is all of the precedents and roots that this story had that were used later to branch out into other storylines. Like the Phoenix Force now, from that story where it was introduced by Chris Claremont as like this one story element for this one thing, and it never existed before. The Phoenix Force is now something that is relevant to the entire Marvel Universe, and that other characters, non-mutants, have to deal with, and is a force considered to be like as potent and as powerful and as dangerous as Galactus.
You mean like that time that Cyclops blew off Xavier's face with it?
Exactly. That was one of those times.
Wait, Galactus? You mean that big giant cloud from the second Fantastic Four movie?
Exactly.
Oh God, I'm so
I
sorry.
I know he's fucking with me and it still hurts.
I don't know, man.
movie
Ultimate
still hurts.
Galactus doesn't make me angry.
No, it doesn't, but the cloud from the movie does.
But I just find it funny, though, that they're going in this direction by using the Phoenix Saga, which, okay, yeah, sure, maybe it's not the best story on several different factors, but what it did give comic book fans was a good starting point for other great stories and stuff like that. But
right.
Isn't the X-Men movies going to die after this movie?
Yeah.
I think so. But but to focus on
that
the real point, though, what you just said is is so many elements of the Phoenix Saga have become so intertwined with the X-Men mythos that whether or not you think it was a good story, it was so important that it was too relevant to be ignored.
It's a story that doesn't hold up. I'm sure, like, I can't even say I'm sure. It was good when it came out. It just doesn't hold up.
So what you're trying to tell me is that it's basically what the Phoenix Saga is to X-Men is to the first 2 seasons of Next Gen to Star Trek.
First one, at least.
Yeah, there were some good ones from the second season, but
yes, yeah, basically a great premise with a good cast that did not have the chemistry, the synergy, or the writing yet.
Yeah. So basically, suffer through Phoenix Saga if you want to get into X-Men.
Right, but it's still like, actually you should get into X-Men first, and then when you're braced and love the characters and are ready to go back into the mythos and learn about the history, then you read it, because then you're like, oh, this sucks, but at least I get this now.
Gotcha.
Also, what I think is the most important takeaway from that story: how much Wolverine loves salami.
Yeah, buddy.
Redhead and salami, his two favorite things.
All right, folks. I think this is a good time to wrap it up.
Bet a good a time as any.
All right, then. Thanks you all for listening in, and see you again in 2 weeks. If you have questions, a topic you would like us to cover, or wish to simply tell us all the facts we screwed up, feel free to contact us at laymansguidetothemultiverse@gmail.com. Also, feel free to visit our website at laymansguidetothemultiverse.com. Our intro music is Dance Rocket, off the album Descent of the Goober Monster by Jesse Spillane, and is licensed under an Attribution 4.0 International CC by 4.0 license off http://freemusicarchive.org. Our intermission music is Crinoline Dreams by Kevin MacLeod off incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license, http://creativecommons.org/license/by/3.0/ and our outro music is Miami Nights Extended Theme, also by Kevin MacLeod, off incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license, http://creativecommons.org/license/by/3.0/